Blockchain, cryptocurrency, NFTs. What's it all about and what do you actually need to know? In this quick set, we're going to take a look at probably the 3 biggest words in tech at the moment, or as far as social media is concerned. Also joining me is Zarif Hanan, our tech expert from BT. We're also going to be hearing from an extra special guest about how these tech concepts are being used in the music industry. I'm your host, Bud. Let's get into it. At first glance, you might think these 3 concepts are completely unrelated and just social media hype words. But there's actually a lot more to them than meets the eye. So let's begin by defining these 3 terms. First up, when we say blockchain, what do we mean? Well, simply put, a blockchain is a special kind of database. A blockchain stores information in batches called blocks. And these blocks are linked together in sequential, one by one, way to form a continuous line. A chain of blocks, a blockchain. Yeah, you get it. Each block is like a page in an infinite ledger with an unlimited amount of pages. Simple. Then there's cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency is a new form of digital money. So those £5 notes in your pocket, digital. The name originates from the fact that all of its transactions are highly encrypted, making the exchanges highly secure. It's decentralized in nature and isn't controlled or managed by a central authority, like the Bank of England. How about NFTs? NFT stands for non-fungible token. They're a unique type of token that can be linked to digital or physical content. They provide proof of ownership for items such as artwork, digital collectibles, music, and items in video games. Here at Apprentice Nation, we want to give you first-hand insight into terminology that you may be hearing around you and connect you with our industry experts who can share their knowledge and experience with you. So who better to talk us through what these concepts mean than IT pro Zarif Hanan, responsible for data and AI solutions at one of our partners, BT.
So I actually work for a team called Active Intelligence as part of the BT group. It's an internal startup which specializes in providing data insights on UK population to a number of different sectors.
Love that. And up until now, we've kind of slightly introduced the concepts of blockchain and cryptocurrency and NFTs. But can you tell us a little bit more about those 3 concepts?
Sure. So I guess there's quite a lot of confusion around what the different distinction is. So I'll start with the idea of blockchain, which I think is probably the main kind of buzzword which gets introduced. At its core, a blockchain is a database which allows multiple parties to input information into it without correcting each other's work. So the way I see it is the way to visualize it is like an Excel spreadsheet where you have some outcome you want, some formula you want to work in a certain cell, but to make it work, different people need to input information into each other's cells. But if one person inputs it, they shouldn't be able to edit the other's one. And using cryptography and a number of different secure behavioral mechanisms, blockchains attempt to make that real. The way cryptocurrency gets engaged within it is that it's not so much the blockchain, it's an application of the blockchain. So cryptocurrency, if you split it out, is cryptocurrency, which, the crypto comes from cryptonomics and currency comes from, money. So it's the way to think about it is a form of electronic money, typically created by an algorithm with no central authority governing it. Now, what does that mean? Well, the electronic component of that, it means that unlike a banknote, like a £5 note you might find, it only exists in the digital form. And when I said it's controlled by an algorithm, think about the money that's being printed out in the wider economy. That's, usually the central bank has a large mandate in making that work. With cryptocurrency, usually a team of people have come up with a vision for how the issuance of this currency is going to be supplied, and there's an algorithm which usually makes that work. The final thing around this is around NFT, which is a more novel application which gets thrown out. That in itself is an evolution of this cryptocurrency idea. So the way I see it, if you think about cryptocurrency and the parallels with currency itself, every person who has a currency say your £5 note or Y £5 note. They basically are the exact same thing. There's no way to tell them apart. If you go to a shop, your £5 note and mine will mean exactly the same thing. The same applies to cryptocurrency. Your Bitcoin and my Bitcoin on any exchange, it can be sold and bought for exactly the same amount of money. If it's being used for a particular reason, there's nothing that should really stop one person from accepting yours and not mine. With NFTs, though, the idea is that you ultimately want each token. So every Bitcoin, every Bitcoin is a token, and you want each token to be really unique. And so using a different set of, again, cryptographic protocols and algorithms, you can kind of enforce uniqueness on these tokens which rest on the blockchain. Now, you might think, why is that useful? Well, there's a number of use cases which we can touch on, but I mean, at its core, if you think about art, you don't want Picasso's one form of art to look exactly identical to the other. The fact that each of them are quite unique lend itself some unique value. And so NFTs in the current context, there's a lot of, you see that a lot in the news, that NFTs are representing digital forms of art that different people want to trade it with each other or want to buy. And each of them can be represented cryptographically as unique items.
Nice. I love that. And how are they used in your industry at the moment?
One specific use case that comes to mind is around data roaming. So when you go abroad and you want to access, say, the BT network, but from a local carrier, often what happens is a lot of information is shared electronically over the counter, and so ultimately that's really packets of information which need to be distributed one party to the other. And there needs to be a lot of secure mechanisms to make sure this data is not corrupted. Ultimately, making sure that when you're making a call from abroad in Europe, you can still get network. Now, what you might appreciate is that it actually ends up being quite complex to manage the infrastructure around it. So blockchains, what you might see value in is in making sure there is security underpinning the information which is being exchanged between different parties, both in UK and abroad, to make that network work smoothly. So that is more of I guess, something that is around existing technology and existing ecosystems that are more familiar to us. What is more exciting are the creation of these new digital economies, even within the telco space. So blockchain and cryptocurrencies allow you to create new digital economies, which allow you to buy and sell digital goods without any central authority, as we've kind of discussed. And what we see in telcos are these new novel companies that are emerging, which allow you to buy and sell data hotspots without being reliant on, say, a central party to govern exactly how much price you need to pay for it. Is driven by supply and demand, which is local to the economy in which you want to buy and sell these hotspots out. And again, the currency you typically use is, again, completely removed from US dollar or sterling or whatever it is, that whichever country you reside in. So there are a number of different use cases, some of which are some of the more new one. I think that's where some of the excitement is starting to emerge from.
Nice, that's so cool. Are there any kind of real world applications that are going on now or have been going on for a while that people might not have realized are linked to these concepts?
Absolutely. I mean, blockchain has been explored for several different years. Some of the ways in which you might not appreciate is around supply chain tracking. So as an example, the cheese you buy or the wine you might find in your grocer, it often there's a certain degree of authentication which drives its value. So you only want cheese from a certain location, but to make sure that you can validate that the cheese does come from that place of origin, because there's so many people who are involved in bringing that milk to the cheese form, which then gets transported. Often there's a lot of fraud involved. And so the way blockchain helps is in controlling and preventing fraud around products which will have a certain area of origin which it comes value from. There are a number of different use cases which are being explored. Banking is another interesting one, where you want to engage people in peer-to-peer banking. So again, giving rise to some of the same banking services that we want, like a current account, lending, deposits, without use of a central party. And again, blockchain and cryptocurrency collectively are coming up with very new, novel ways of trying to make that work without, it's an alternative forms of economy that you're really trying to build.
Nice, I loved it. That blockchains being used to verify cheese.
Absolutely.
Lots to unpack there. And what's great about the world of tech, as Zarif said, is that you can get involved at any level and take it as far as you want. With so many open source projects like Firefox and some new blockchain projects, you can get a laptop, internet connection, and you can take it in any direction you want and as far as you want. I understand that both cryptocurrencies and NFTs use the blockchain network for ownership verification. However, unlike a cryptocurrency, an NFT can't be directly exchanged with another NFT. Simply put, both cryptocurrency and NFTs rely on blockchain transactions to validate their authenticity and a record of their ownership. If you're interested in learning more about this or getting involved, there are lots of great and importantly free online resources to help you on your way to understanding this digital world. Check out these on screen now. It's never too late or too early to learn a new skill, and you've got nothing to lose. So if you're interested, give it a go. You never know where it could take you in the future. Let's check back in with Zarif for the second part of our chat.
How can young people get involved if this is something that they're interested in, or if they just want to explore a bit further?
Well, I guess the good news is that even though it's been talked about for years, it's still a very young and early phase in which we are seeing blockchain and cryptocurrencies and NFTs come to light. A lot of blockchain projects are open source, which means anyone can contribute to the core code that goes into making these blockchains run. And often these are the decisions around, what changes do you want? What philosophies do underpin it? What governance mechanisms do you want, etc. They get discussed in pretty open forums that most people can join into. So if you're a young person, I would encourage you to look at projects on the web that you're interested in. Find out what those Discord channels are where these conversations gravitate and participate. I think that active involvement is probably the best way to familiarize yourself. Those who are a bit more technologically inclined, so for example, if you either know some computer code or if you want to pick up a programming language, there's a tons of free resources available. And personally for me, what I've seen, I've been trying to follow this space for a while. What I've seen work is if you really learn to build something yourself, purely initially as an experimental thing that you want to learn a concept around, but who knows, you could be building the next best blockchain application out there. Again, tons of resources out there on the web. One I recommend is Crypto Zombies. It's a way to build an NFT basically from scratch using a particular very popular blockchain programming language. So yeah, get involved in these active communities which are building on new ideas and pick up some skills on the way.
Nice, I love that. And you said that you've been following for a while. I guess maybe we should finish on what you think is the future for these industries.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there has been a lot of hype around blockchains, and some of it is real, some of it is not. I personally consider myself as a bit of an optimist, but you do see some of this coming to reality. So with blockchain itself, I think they're an enabling application. They're an enabling product. They allow new digital-only economies to run, and you already see some of these emerging. Cryptocurrencies and crypto assets, I think, are going to be the currency which helps you run these economies, just like Great Britain runs on pound or not. The same way digital currencies will help power digital economies. And I think one of the digital products that you might buy in these economies may well be NFTs, amongst others. And that means, and currently we see NFTs being largely built as forms of new art and media. And so I see a whole new wave of experimentation and explosion of new digital arts being produced in the next few years.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for joining me and for all of your insight.
Steph, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Nice. Well, we talked a bit about cryptocurrency, NFTs, all of the hype. And I want to know, what is your experience of NFTs and cryptocurrency in the music industry?
I put my money somewhere. I don't remember where it is right now, but hopefully it's up.
Rich people problems?
No, I'm joking. But right now, me and my team have created, it's not even a coin anymore. It's just called Lit World. So watch out for that. Some NFTs are going to be dropping on there. Lit World, because you know we are the littest. The Lit World. So make sure you watch out for that. So yeah, that's what we got coming up. Some couple NFTs and a couple cool things, and it's really cool. And there's a lot of heavy hitters involved in that. Yeah, some big names behind that.
Anything else you wanna?
That's what I'm giving you for now.
Okay,
but
cool.
Lit World,
Teaser.
watch out for it.
Lit World. All right. And have you bought anything using crypto recently? Is that a thing that you're into? Or
I've bought a few monkeys, not real ones, digital ones.
Cool.
In the NFT world, actually.
Yeah, the little customizable things.
Yeah, I got a few monkeys, and I actually don't know how well or how terrible it's doing. I just let it sit there, and we'll have a look one day.
Fair.
And hopefully, I'm up.
I love it. Well, to finish off, I want to play a little game, and you're gonna have to excuse the really poor patois. But I'm going to term it, No Gal Can Tell Me About My Cryptocurrency. It's the name of the game. Let's move on swiftly from that. And the aim of the game, I'm going to shout out some cryptocurrency
So
names.
No Gal Can't Tell Me About My Cryptocurrency.
No Gal Can't Tell Me About My Crypto.
Okay.
And you're going to have to tell me whether it's true or false.
Okay.
Cool. So,
let's go.
Let's start with an easy one, Bitcoin.
What about it?
Is it true, is it false? Is it a real cryptocurrency?
Of course it is.
Yeah. What about Polkadot?
Polkadot. I've never heard of that one, but it's possible.
But that's not how the game works. It's a yes or no question.
Polkadot.
There's a timer. In your head, there should be a timer going 30 seconds.
Is it Polkadot real, guys?
20
Someone
seconds
Google
now.
it. I need to be right. No. Okay.
This isn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. There's no Ask the Audience.
It's not real. I don't know.
No, wrong. It's real.
I knew it. They always come up with these names, didn't it?
Yeah. All right. African American
yes.
vernacular. Is it real or false?
African American vernacular. I don't believe that one.
It's true.
Who are these people making up these names?
All right, Calypso.
I should say yes now, innit? Or am I now going to say yes and it's not it?
That's the game. True or false?
I'm going to say false.
Yeah, no, it's one of your songs.
It's false.
Yeah. It's your song. What about Stripes?
Stripes is real.
False. Pancake Swap.
Yeah, I've been on Pancake Swap. That's real, yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah,
I know how to do Pancake Swap.
All right, last one, Fruits.
Fruits and Roots.
Yeah, real?
Fruits,
real, false?
Is it real?
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, it's real.
Fair
See,
play,
I got that right. Hey,
you know
yeah.
your thing. And do you know what? To end it off, we've created our own cryptocurrency for you, and it's called Stefflon Coin. And it's a real Stefflon Coin. It's a real cryptocurrency.
You lot put money on there for me, innit?
I mean, I could go away and put a bit of money. I'm not that rich. I can't be putting that much of my own money in there.
Put a little piece now.
I'm sure I've got like 50p in a Monzo somewhere.
Yeah,
I
get
can
your mates
stuff
to
on
put some. Every little helps.
Can't. Well, thank you for joining me. And we're going to head back into our set.
Always great to get a peek into the music industry from artists. As we bring this quick set to a close, I just want to remind you that we've got loads more content for you on the Skills Hub section of the Apprentice Nation website. So go and check it out. Personally, I recommend one of my previous sets on digital skills. It's called AI, You Need to Know This. Remember, all this content is on demand, so it's ready and waiting whenever you want to dive in and learn more or even earn more credits for awards such as signing up with one of our mentors to explore more on digital skills, plus many other subjects. I've been your host, Bud. I'll see you again soon.